Well, Bloomington's Monroe Convention Center expansion project has come to a halt. Officials say it's just another delay in a project that's had its share of controversy. Funding mechanisms, elected official turnover, facility size, and the site plan are just a few items that have come into play. But those invested in the project say the key element missing is getting city and county officials to work together. The building at the corner of College Avenue and 3rd Street in Bloomington was built in 1923 as a Ford Model T assembly plant. It was converted into convention space due to its prime downtown location in 1991. Now it hosts 500 events a year, with more than 75,000 people passing through. And leaders say the demand for space is greater than ever.
An expanded ballroom, expanded exhibit space, multi-purpose space. We'd like to get into some sporting events.
And the current building needs updated.
It really has been a nice room. We do a lot of public events in this space. There's some challenges with it. The air handlers are very noisy, and so that's another one of the systems that's getting towards the end of its life with the cooling tower. There are only 3 systems in Indiana like this one that was put in, and it's a little bit challenging with how it operates.
There have always been plans to expand the center, but it didn't gain enough support until 2 years ago when the county council approved a 1% food and beverage tax increase. Project leaders hired an architect, held public forums, a steering committee was formed, but county and city leaders kept blaming each other on how to follow their memorandum of understanding, an agreement that spells out how the city and county will collaborate on the project. Earlier this month, Mayor John Hamilton said he'd been waiting 6 weeks on a new draft of the MOU from the county commissioners.
Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten a draft of the MOU from the county. I'm frustrated a little bit by that delay, but I'm overall continue to be very positive.
Instead, he received a memorandum highlighting a new working group of elected officials focusing on financing and facilities.
It should be done with city and county elected officials in the room, and then take these decisions or these recommendations back to their various boards for a vote and for public comment.
Deputy Mayor and Steering Committee member Mick Renheisen says getting 20 elected officials together in one room will be difficult, and representatives of each government body are already on the steering committee.
Those processes of approval are already in place. You can't spend money without approval from your fiscal bodies.
And Renheisen says many of the decisions in the proposed agreement, such as the site plan and size, have already been answered by the steering committee.
We spent a lot of time with professional consultants, and then we had the steering committee take a vote May 23rd, and that vote was build on the north lot, the north side, put the expansion there. It can connect to the existing center.
We don't have a final decision on the location of the center, the size of the center, how it's going to be funded, where this money is going to be coming from, what the budget is, where the hotel's going, how big it's going to be, the parking garage.
The food and beverage tax increase was expected to help fund $30 million of the expansion, but a new estimate that now includes a parking garage and the cost to acquire land north of the current location puts the project cost closer to $60 million. Renheisen says those numbers have been known.
That has somehow been mistaken as the budget for the project. Rather, it's just a stream of revenue.
He says a financial advisor is looking at the numbers, and it's likely the tax will produce more than $30 million. Along with tax increment districts and other revenue sources, Renheisen says there shouldn't be concerns about funding. County Council member Cheryl Munson says convention centers usually carry a deficit, so taxpayers shouldn't be too worried about the added funding mechanisms.
But in truth, all convention centers have deficits, and the deficits are balanced against the revenue that comes in from increased taxes and from visitor spending.
County Commissioner Patrick Stofers lost his seat to Lee Jones in 2018, and Penny Githens took over for Amanda Barge this year after she resigned amid harassment allegations. Renheisen says some of the setbacks may be coming from new commissioners trying to catch up.
City and county staff speak weekly about this and other topics and talk frequently about decisions that have to be made and information that's in the Dropbox, and it was all publicly available to our colleagues at the county. So I Don't know why that information wasn't absorbed.
Thomas says that's why a capital improvement board is included in the new agreement. The new board would manage the construction of the project and regular operations once the expansion is completed. That would allow elected officials to continue work on a range of issues, not just the convention center. Renheisen says the capital improvement board is worth discussing, but he doesn't want it to delay work on the expansion. For now, commissioners are waiting for the mayor's office, city council, and county council to respond to the proposed agreement.
We've got to make progress and keep moving the momentum forward, and I believe we can, and I think we will.
Renheisen says the city is working on a response and should have something to send back soon. For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Joe Wren.